I believe if you vote, you have no right to complain. People like to twist that around, I know. They say, well, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain. But where's the logic in that? If you vote, and you elect dishonest, incompetent people, and they get into office and screw everything up, well, you are responsible for what they have done. You caused the problem. You voted them in. You have no right to complain.
Beth, thank you for your warm reception and response. He's a car guy too, and I love cars. I appreciate the warmth of your welcome and the chance to speak with you. I guess it's noon. I hate standing between you and your lunch. But I'm promising that every day we'll be on a track to get things better and better. And together we'll make America stronger again.
My question for you is, will you arrest me and my doctors if I get medical marijuana?
I'm not in favor of medical marijuana being
So will you have me arrested?
How are you?
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Will you please answer my question?
Well, you have. Wait, are you not going to answer his question, Governor?
I think I have. I'm not.
No, he asked you if you were going to arrest. He asked if you were going to arrest patients like him, Governor. You're going to just ignore a person in a wheelchair?
Thank you. Good to be here. Hi there, Mr. Romney. How can you support the Patriot Act and the NDAA and be a constitutional conservative, sir?
How are you? Good to see you. Thank you. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. These are important questions I take. We got a whole time.
The NDAA is unconstitutional and un-American, sir.
Troops. Governor Romney, as president, would you have signed the National Defense Act as written?
Yes, I would have, and I do believe that it's appropriate.
Ordered the death of an American citizen who was suspected of terrorist activity overseas. Is it appropriate for the American president, on the president's say-so alone, to order the death of an American citizen suspected of terrorism?
Absolutely, in this case.
But he was 19 years old at the height of the Vietnam War. Mr. Romney was healthy, he was of the right age, and he was therefore theoretically quite draftable for Vietnam. But he did not serve, either in the active duty military or in the Guard or Reserves like George W. Bush did. Mr. Romney instead lived in France during the Vietnam War. He was a missionary for his church in France for nearly 3 years during the height of the Vietnam War. Now, of course,
when I think about the blessing of America, I think not only about my own dad. My dad, by the way, was born in Mexico.
But the Mormon Church decided to allow blacks to participate fully. Here was the headlines in the papers in June of '78. Mormon Church dissolves black bias. Citing new revelation from God, the president of the Mormon Church decreed for the first time black males could fully participate in church rites. You were 31 years old, and your church was excluding blacks from full participation. Didn't you think, what am I doing, part of an organization that is viewed by many as a racist organization?
I'm very proud of my faith, and it's the faith of my fathers.
Servicemen would be entitled to benefits like a man and a woman. If two men get married, apparently a veteran spouse would not be entitled to any burial benefits or medical benefits or anything that the serviceman has devoted his time and effort to his country. And you just don't support equality in terms of same-sex marriage.
I believe that marriage is a relationship between a man and a woman.
Me now.
Governor Romney, do you have a minute for a serious question about the Constitution from a combat veteran? Do you have a minute, sir? Sir, do you just have a minute for a serious question about the Constitution?
Iraq veteran, one question.
No?
Thank you.
Apparently not.
Thank you, Governor.
Remember earlier this year how Romney got $1 million donation from an organization that just suddenly ceased to exist the next day?
It's really someone wanting to give Romney the money while staying in the shadows.
Mitt Romney stealing all of Barack Obama's big dollar Wall Street donors.
A good chunk of his funds came from his buddies on Wall Street, like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and Bank of America.
To get that kind of money, you've got to cozy up as an incumbent to all of the special interest groups who can go out and raise money for you from their members. That kind of relationship has an influence on the way you're going to vote. But look, I'm not going to spend my time going after Ben Bernanke. I'm not going to take my effort and focus on the Federal Reserve.
Should the chairman of the Federal Reserve be appointed again?
I think he's doing a good job. You do? Yes, I do. And I think it's important to have the Fed as an independent agency. I do not think you want to have the Congress of the United States trying to pull strings at the
We might have to be careful. Mr. Bernanke might hear us. Now, the Federal Reserve has been around for 100 years. And, you know, with an election coming up, if we do well in this election and we have the opportunity, we should celebrate that 100-year anniversary by repealing the Federal Reserve Act. And the very first thing we have to do is have a full audit of the Federal Reserve. We need to find out who the friends are. And this is where we've made some achievement. Many in this audience, I'm sure, helped get the audit bill passed in the House last year. And, of course, it didn't pass in the Senate, but we got a partial audit. We know more about the Fed than ever before. Matter of fact, I was a bit shocked, even though I've been very leery and concerned about monetary policy. I was still shocked to find out to the extent that they were involved. They were involved with $15 trillion of churning credit, bailing out their friends and buddies, not only